My roommate Dev says the apartment feels charged. He says it the way people say things that are physically accurate and emotionally insufficient at the same time. The apartment is charged. Not tense, not anxious, the charged of static electricity on a dry winter morning. The charged of the air before a thunderstorm. The charged of a room where something small and yellow is sitting in the corner having opinions about the outlet covers. We removed the outlet covers in week 2. His name is Spark. My roommate Dev named him on day 3, which was exactly right. Not day 1 like Ham, not day 5 like Void, day 3. The name required 2 days of observation before it was accurate, and on day 3 it was accurate, and Dev said it, and Spark made his sound, and the lamp in the living room flickered once, and that was that. He is a Pikachu, an actual physical Pikachu, living in our apartment in Denver, Colorado, currently the size of a large rabbit, yellow with 2 red circles on his cheeks that glow faintly when he's calm and brightly when he's not calm, and we have learned the difference and we prioritize the faint glow. The bright glow happened twice. The second time was our fault. We don't vacuum near him anymore. He has been with us for 10 weeks. The apartment feels charged. The Wi-Fi is significantly better. We think about the second thing more than we probably should. It was a Sunday in mid-November when Dev found the egg on the park bench. Not in a forest, not in a basement, not on a mountain or under a porch or in a corner where things accumulate. On a park bench. In Cheesman Park in Denver. On the bench nearest the west entrance, placed with specific deliberateness of something that has been left rather than lost. The difference being visible in how centered it was on the bench, how it was not at the edge, not fallen between the slats, but in the middle of the bench, as if placed by someone who wanted it found by the right person at the right time. Dev was doing his Sunday morning run, the weekly ritual of Cheesman Park at 7 a.m. when the park is mostly empty and the Denver November air is cold and clear, and the run is the specific run of someone who runs the same route every Sunday and knows every bench and notices when a bench has something on it that wasn't there last Sunday. He stopped. He texted me from the bench. There's an egg on the bench in the park, yellow. Come now. The yellow was in the text before the egg was. This was the first indication. The egg was the size of a large orange. Yellow. The specific yellow of morning sunlight before it becomes afternoon. The yellow of something that has decided to be the warmest color available and has succeeded. Slightly oval, the proportions of something designed to be held. 2 brown stripes visible on the surface, not markings, not cracks, part of the surface itself, positioned toward the lower half the way certain things are positioned when they know which way is up. It was warm. Warmer than the November Denver morning around it. The warmth of something generating rather than absorbing. The specific warmth of a small thing with a lot of energy. Dev held it in both hands for a long time without speaking. Then he said, "It wants to be held." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "The shape. The shape is for holding. Everything about it is for holding." I looked at the egg in his hands. I said, "Yes, it is." We walked home with Dev, holding it in both hands the entire way. He opened his notebook. For 6 days, the egg sat on Dev's desk and was warm and yellow and slightly oval, and occasionally, at completely unpredictable intervals, produced a small static shock when touched. Not painful, present. The specific small shock of touching a doorknob after walking across carpet, the shock of static electricity looking for somewhere to go and finding the path of least resistance through a human finger. Dev documented every shock, time, intensity, which finger, what he had been doing immediately before. He created a shock pattern document. The shock pattern document is 14 pages. He considers it incomplete because he hasn't found the pattern yet. On day 2, the apartment's Wi-Fi signal strength increased by 30%. Dev noticed because his laptop showed the signal bars and the signal bars had changed. He checked the router. The router had not changed. He checked the internet provider app. No changes on their end. He stood in the apartment looking at the signal bars for a long time. Then he looked at the egg. He wrote in his notebook, "Working hypothesis." On day 3, the egg was warmer. Not the accelerating heat of cinder. The steady warmth of something that has been generating and is generating more. Dev held his hand near it and said, "It's building up." I said, "Building up to what?" Dev looked at the egg. He said, "I think we're going to find out." On day 5, the lights in the apartment flickered. Once. at 3 a.m. Dave and I were both asleep and both awake at the same moment, the way you're awake when a sound happens that your body registers before your brain does, except it wasn't a sound. It was the lights. And then the lights were normal. And Dev was in my doorway and I was already sitting up. He said, "It's almost ready." On day 6 morning, the egg was in Dev's hands when it hatched. He had picked it up for the morning temperature check, and it had gotten warm in a way that was different from the previous 5 days warm. And he hadn't put it down. And then it had hatched in his hands at 9 a.m. on a Denver November Sunday morning. And the small yellow pieces of shell had fallen from his hands onto his desk, and Spark had been there, in Dev's hands, immediately. Dev's hands were the first thing Spark knew. This is important. Not the desk, not the apartment, not the Denver November outside the window. Dev's hands. Spark opened his eyes, which were dark brown and present and already paying attention, in Dev's hands, and looked at Dev and made his sound. Small. Electric. The sound of a current finding a complete circuit. The sound of something that has been potential and has just become kinetic. The specific sound of energy that has found its form. The red circles on his cheeks glowed faintly. Dev said spark. The lamp flickered once. That was that. 10 weeks later, the situation in the apartment is as follows. Spark is small. This is still true at 10 weeks. The size of a large rabbit. The specific size of something that contains more energy than its size suggests, and is aware of this and has no particular modesty about it. He moves quickly. Faster than you expect something that size to move. The speed of something that runs on electricity and has plenty of electricity. Dev has tried to document the speed. The documentation is ongoing. The electricity. We need to talk about the electricity. The electricity happens, not constantly, not randomly, but regularly, and with the specific relationship to Spark's emotional state that Dev has been documenting for 10 weeks, and that has produced a correlation chart that is currently 12 pages, and that has gotten Dev 70% of the way to being able to predict when the electricity is coming. The remaining 30% is the difference between the lamp flickering and the vacuum cleaner incident. We don't vacuum near him anymore. Spark is on Dev's shoulder right now. Dev is working. Spark's cheeks are glowing faintly. The Wi-Fi is good. If you found something, leave a comment. We read all of them. Spark has opinions about your Wi-Fi. He hasn't said what they are. Subscribe. Don't vacuum near him. We learned this the hard way. The lamp is fine now. Mostly.
I'm still working on what the responses mean. 9 pages? Subscribe. We learned this the hard way. Don't vacuum near him. The lamp is fine now. Mostly apartment charged in the specific correct way. The documentation ongoing.